Yo.
Hey, welcome to the new meta episode 155.
155. 155. It's crazy.
155.
Who knew?
Yep.
We'd still be doing this dumb shit. No.
I think every episode after 100, we're like, damn, man,
I know.
who knew you're going to make it.
Still going.
Still going. Still here.
Yep.
Unfortunately, so how's your week been?
Actually, really good. Really good. I don't know if you saw it today on my Twitter. Do you follow me on Twitter?
I follow you on Twitter, but I have you muted, so I don't see your stuff.
Fuck you, dude. But so
I'm
Blizz sent me this little Diablo Immortal hoodie. The little
That's
Lord
really cool.
Fluffy embroidered on the side and everything. They only sent it to me.
Yeah,
the face of
really
Diablo.
Cool. There was a package on my porch today, and I didn't open it though. I just assumed it was something my wife bought. I wonder if it was mine.
If you got one, it makes no sense because you didn't even play the game. But
I did play. I played it as much as you.
I'm sorry, what?
You didn't even play the last beta,
bro. I played I was rank 1 worldwide.
And Blizzard doesn't send you anything. You're like soft banned in Blizzard.
Get out of here, bro. Get out of here.
I sent Fluff my jacket.
You played like probably 3 hours overall, and I played like 70 hours a week the first beta.
3 hours? No, I played more than 3 hours.
You didn't.
Yeah, I did. So let's talk about something else.
No. So let's talk about your filthy casual.
Show it to me.
Yeah.
No, show it. Let's see it.
Okay. Check it. Zip up hoodie.
Okay.
Got a Immortal on the front.
Nice.
Little stripies at the bottom.
Okay.
And yeah, and it had like a bind on pickup tag when you pulled it out of the box. Also came with
nothing on the back.
No.
Cool.
Oh, the face of Diablo is what it says, but I can't show you that. And then also in the box there was a Diablo Immortal charging battery thing, like one of those external batteries.
Yeah, that's dope.
And a Diablo Immortal like connection thing, like it was a 3-prong. So if you had like iPhone, Android, or USB-C or something, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Pretty dope.
Yeah. I can't complain, you know? Blizzard's never sent me anything before. This is the first thing I've ever gotten. Fantastic.
Cool. All right. So, last week's poll.
Okay.
We talked about...
I don't want to make small talk anyways. Fuck you, dude.
I don't like small talk. Let's just get to it.
All right. So last week... This is like bleached out. Why does it look so weird? Hang on. Super quick. Technical difficulties.
Never. Not in this podcast.
Nope. Why does that look so bad? Here. Go down the brightness. Yeah. There we go. A little better. How to do that? I wonder. Anyways. So new meta about pass question of the week. POE and D3 confirmed to share the date and potentially Lost Ark, which we actually haven't had confirmed yet. I should have meant to check on that right before the stream. Alpha all launch next Friday, July 23rd, which is tomorrow. Chat. Mm-hmm. Which one will you be playing? Option 1, Path of Exile. Option 2, Diablo 3. Option 3, Lost Ark.
Yeah. It's interesting because I guess the POE notes have come out, and so people that may have skewed the last minute voters, but Diablo 3 won.
Yeah, by a lot.
Yeah, that's surprising to me.
Very surprising. Yeah, I guess still a large portion of my Twitter fan base are Diablo players, I guess. I don't know. I was very surprised by this outcome.
Yeah. If you were, so what's your vote? If you were voting on this, what are you picking?
I mean, I don't have any desire really to play Lost Ark before it comes out because I don't want to, like, I've already burnt myself out on the game a little bit by playing it so much in Korea and Russia. So there's really nothing for me to test there. Diablo 3 is obviously near and dear to my heart, but Path of Exile, came out with their balanced manifesto and the patch notes, and there's some things in there that's like, Lord Fluffy, this is for you, bud. They heard me say like, oh, I'm going to play hardcore D3 at the start of the season. They're like, wait a minute. Like, we're going to have some stuff in this manifesto just for you. Lord Fluffy. They even say
They
my
try to
name.
entice you.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They try to entice you.
Yeah.
Okay. You're the first person that's been happy about stuff that I've seen. Everybody else has been extremely unhappy.
Panic. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So
Yeah,
we'll get into that, but
totally.
that's interesting.
So what do you pick? I
If
have
they
no
all
idea.
three would have dropped on Friday, oh man, I would probably still have to go with D3, but Lost Ark would be super close. It would be hardcore D3 as soon as I died, instantly switching over to Lost Ark.
Mm.
You know, but not for the alpha. I guess you got a caveat, like you said. I played a lot of Lost Ark, so I probably wouldn't jump in the alpha that hard.
Yeah.
So I would definitely D3. If it were an official Lost Ark release, it would be Lost Ark hands down.
Oh yeah.
Wouldn't even
Same.
question. But for alpha, I think I would still play D3.
Agreed. Super agreed. But yeah.
Yep.
So that's the question. And now next week's question, which I know some of you guys are gonna freak out because you only want the Diablo polls, but this one's very topical, and we're gonna get into it quite a bit today. So, new meta podcast question of the week. I should only put hashtag deal on. Oh, I know I do. Do you have faith in Path of Exile's recent nerfs? Option 1, in Chris Wilson we trust. Option 2, no, this league equals shit show. Option 3, this will be phase 1, ... And option 4, who cares? Playing D3.
Okay.
Let you guys vote on that. Post that in chat. But yeah.
Shit show ... What do you think the chances of that shit show happening are?
I don't know. We'll have to see, man. I
think player base is going to be down a little bit based off all the feedback I've heard. I mean, when people are coming and bitching to me about it, that's a rare thing that doesn't happen often. But
you say that, but every single round of patch notes, Reddit's freaking the fuck out.
Yeah.
So I don't know, and we'll dive deep into what's going on and why people are freaking out, and at least from the perspective of a expert Path of Exile player and a filthy casual Path of Exile player. So
we got a guest today. Who's the expert?
That would be me. That'd be me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right. I mean, I'll take the filthy casual role, but I thought maybe they were referring to yourself.
No, that's me. That's me.
You're the cash. And PSA, man, don't forget to save your challenge rift. Like, you're gonna do it between now and tomorrow night, but just don't
do it.
Don't do it.
You didn't do it, right?
No, I didn't do it.
Okay.
I tested it. I went and saw what the challenge rift was and scouted it, but I did not complete it this time. I didn't F up.
Good.
So I left premature just to make sure I didn't even spawn the Rift Guardian this time to accidentally kill him.
Good.
So it's pretty easy. It's a leap quake seismic slam barb, so it's like mash 1, 2, 3, 4 and left click, right click. It's super easy. So.
Good. What is it
People
again?
shouldn't have a hard time.
Seismic slam, you said?
It's using the leap quake set, but you don't have the boots to get 3 leaps, and that set also now buffs seismic slam.
Yeah.
So you're leaping on cooldown on elites basically, and then right click to seismic slam kill trash.
Cool. Sounds really good.
It's not
challenge
the worst
rifts
of it.
never
For a
disappoint.
challenge rift, there could definitely be worse. At least you can kind of get some sense of movement with leap quake, just a little bit. But.
Challenge rifts. Love them.
Man, they're pretty good. I think we're missing gear pieces and stuff, so it's pretty good. Yeah,
and so I missed this altogether, but you posted in the schedule. It posted yesterday. They posted an article around the reimagining a legend behind ethereal items.
Yeah, this was it's kind of a little blog about where they came up with the idea, and it
Frankie,
gives a little shout out to Frankie. Yeah, man, Frankie's super cool.
Yeah,
so I thought it was pretty cool that they kind of went behind the scenes, man. If you're wondering where they got the idea, Frankie talks about it. So it's funny, in the article he says his mom was like giving him shit about playing video games so much, and he's like, now look where I'm at. I'm using all that video game knowledge to literally work on the game.
Because I'm learning valuable business skills for my future, which is not ironic. It's true.
Yeah, it's super true. So, but yeah, that was cool. You can check the article out if you're interested in it. It's on the Diablo 3 website.
Cool. I've been surprised. There's been a lot. I think there's they're really invoking the Diablo 2 nostalgia with this season mechanic, and I've been kind of surprised by how hyped I've seen. Like Reddit has been pretty positive around the league, and like most of the other creators, you know, if I peeked at whatever they're making, they seem to be pretty excited about it. So
yeah, I think all in all, this will be a really good, probably one of the better seasons we've ever had. It's I don't know how it's going to go for me personally. I mean, I've played so much D3 that is this enough to keep me longer than my 2-3 weeks? I don't know. You know what I mean? We'll have to see how fun the ethereals are. But I think for a seasonal theme, on paper, this looks like probably the best one we've ever had, you know?
So any predictions of how long? So if you guys haven't watched the past couple of podcasts, we are starting hardcore.
Hard to the core?
This time around.
So what are you going to play? Not Necro, right?
Necro. 100% Necro.
Necro?
Because it's the tankiest class in the game, right?
Yeah.
Wait, are there other classes in the game?
Yeah, I think there's a couple. Everything but Witch Doctor is in hardcore. I don't think they allow Witch Doctor hardcore creation.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
So chat,
it's gonna be a lot of monks. You're gonna be leveling with a lot of monks. Everybody wants to play monk.
Shout it out. Who's gonna die first? And how long is it gonna take for the first death in our group?
I'm not gonna not say me because I don't play hardcore. I don't. I've leveled only maybe 6 characters to max in hardcore ever. How many have you done total, you think?
Maybe 3.
Maybe 3
Yeah.
ever?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got a couple on you then. Not many. I've only died in one of them, and it's because chat made me take my weapons off. So like it was a setup. But I just jinxed myself, so knock on wood. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes, dude.
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. I don't know.
Obviously,
I've never.
You can play it super safe and but I'm not gonna crank up the T6 like I would in softcore.
Of course,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like if we get some juicy weapons and stuff, it's like, man, I'm not gonna run. We got to crank it up a little bit.
Totally.
So we'll see.
I've never played hardcore in a group, ever.
Ever?
Yeah, ever.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Like the cheat death. There's not gonna be the extra cheat death from the.
What level do Necros
followers.
get cheat death at?
It's like 28.
Remember?
20. It's like 28 or 50. One of those two.
That's a big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna go monk. I don't know when monk gets it. I'm not really sure. I'm excited about the monk leveling though. Apparently, like Crudus boots combination with the bracers that I can't think of the name of. I mean, boots are hard. Boots are hardcore. Pretty awesome for leveling now. So we'll see. Hopefully, I get the boots. You gamble boots at level 1.
Okay.
Hopefully, we get them. I think our team we're going to have at least 2 monks. So hopefully, one of us gets them. And if
what
we
the
do,
hell kind of a comp are we going to do with 2 monks and a necro?
It's hardcore, dude.
What kind of comp can you do with monks?
We're doing monk. We're doing just monk carry. Monk's going to carry with the new set. Is basically what's going to be.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah, I think for leveling will be pretty good. Necro does well in leveling, and the monks are going to be like super top tier now. So I think we'll do okay.
Once we get to the end game, they're going to be top tier. Like, what's going on with monk this season? What?
The new set design with the followers. I just went brain dead. The spirit dudes. What are they called?
Mystic allies.
Yeah, the Mystic Allies just got buffed like hella, and then the new set reworks. Like they do damage. So
okay. So
we'll see.
We're expecting them to be S tier, or people just want to play monk.
No, I think they're S tier.
Okay.
So
right on.
Yep.
Well, we don't know what the 4th guy's going to be. What a comp already, though.
I hope Barb.
Okay.
For some Z.
Yes, support Barb be good.
But finding people for hardcore is a lot more difficult than finding people for softcore.
Yeah.
So,
well, you didn't want to collab, that probably would have been pretty easy.
Maybe. maybe could have been, but then forcing people to play classes too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well,
So.
people make sacrifice to play the face of Diablo. Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We might. So if you die in the leveling process, done. POE right then.
It's gonna be really hard not to be like, all right, peace, because again, Path of Exile did something that excites me, and we'll get into that in a while.
Okay.
But I don't think I'll walk away until I'm like rank 1, and then if I die after regular rank 1, then I'll probably bail, because there's some stuff on Path of Exile's horizon.
Okay.
That I'm excited about.
Interesting.
For
yeah,
sure.
I haven't decided. I haven't decided if I die hardcore. If I'm just, I got community guys that are like, well, if you rip hardcore, then we'll just power level you in softcore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's. So I could just switch over softcore, or just be like, well, that was the season. Rip. You know what I mean? So,
What else are you gonna play? WoW.
We'll see. Yeah, wow.
Isn't that
I did a really bad thing.
Are we done
night.
with this Thursday podcast yet? When are you gonna be burnt out on WoW?
Never.
Come on.
I did a thing last night.
Okay.
I did a really bad thing last night.
You didn't turn in your challenge rift, did you?
No. Final Fantasy 14 went on sale last night.
Ew. What'd you do?
No, I bought it.
And now you're playing it?
And I played it.
Ugh. This is it. This is it, chat. This is the moment that PChild hit rock bottom.
Yeah, it's okay. Like I'm level 17, 18, something like that. It's okay. Like I'm not super hooked yet, to be honest with you. I'm not as hooked as I thought I was gonna be, but I've heard that the leveling process is kind of sleeper. So, we're still rocking it.
Okay.
Still rocking it.
What's your end game goal? What class are you gonna be?
I'm playing I'll call it a wizard, because it's like Tetestrian. I don't even know what it's called, but a black mage is what I'm gonna end up being.
Okay.
So that's not what it's called right now. I forget the names of their classes. But I'm a caster, wizard caster.
Cool.
So yeah, it's okay.
Are you the kitty cat, or are you like the little gnome, or?
No, I made Rod something. It's like got horns that come out of the side of its head, and like looks like armor plate stuff on its body.
Okay.
I don't know the names of any of the stuff for it yet. It's like two different names, like Rava or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, it was cool looking.
Are you watching cutscenes?
At first I tried to, and I was reading the quest text and stuff, because everybody's like, "Oh, the story's so good, don't rush the story." And so I'm reading the quest text, and I'm like, "Man, I don't know, dude." So then I'm at the point now where I'm like, click, 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 click.
Good.
You know what I mean?
My man.
I'm skipping the quest text, and I'm not skipping the cutscenes when they're voiced over. Like when the cutscenes have voiceovers, then I watch them, and I get enough of the story from that I'm not reading any of the text. But it's very Lost Ark-ish in its interface. You can see the Eastern influence again, like Lost Ark's map system, where it puts like the markers and the waypoints on what to go. Like Lost Ark, it could be in Russian or Korean. You can't even read it, and you still know
exactly
where to
what to do. Yeah.
Like their interface is that intuitive that it's just like, oh, you need to go here.
Okay.
And it does a really good job of that too, where it's like, oh, you have this quest, you need to go here. And so that's kind of cool. At the same time, it makes it very skippable for all the content. Like you don't have to read any quest, just skip it, go to the spot, do the thing, get out, So
right
we'll
on.
see. I've only got like maybe 3 or 4 hours into it. It's not like I have a lot of time yet. So it's still an early game.
Okay. Well, maybe they don't have a raid schedule on Tuesdays. It'll be a FF14 main. You never main any game, shit.
Yes, I do. I mean, wow. What are you talking about? Oh.
But there was this thing that happened with Diablo 2 recently. So they kind of blanketed it as, which makes sense. We're making Diablo 2 Resurrected more accessible to everyone. So they go through this article of like some of their quality of life philosophy and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And they're adding like miss text when you actually miss, which is great because
I think that's really cool.
Yeah. There's not a lot of good feedback in Diablo 2 for that. But the important stuff channels. Here. Yeah. The important stuff here is keybinds. This article 100% makes it sound like the big complaint that we had about the
Yeah.
2-click actions
Right.
is over. Like you're gonna be able to have the default keybinds of Legacy, but also sounds like we're gonna be able to have like the new age, like, you know, past the year 2000 1-click action. Juice.
I hope so.
Me too.
Yeah. I skimmed the article. I didn't read every single word in it.
Yeah.
I didn't remember seeing them 100% confirm that,
Okay.
but I did look. But I get the assumption that this is what they were hinting at, or this is what they were going for. I didn't see force move in there either, but like, come on, boys.
Yeah.
You know, let me see.
I would think that there will be a move bindable key. So why there not be
so
force
too.
move, but there is. I know there is like a force move that is like one of the options for Diablo 2. Like it's just like the cursor becomes just movement.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to like, you know, you'd have to like click to that and then use force move, and then like if you want to use a skill, you'd have to like click that away. So I think if we had the ability to bind everything, then we basically have the capability of making it very like
making it work. Yeah,
new age ARPG, right?
That's exciting, man. I hope they do. That makes the game a lot more awesome to me. The 2-click action sucks, in my opinion, pretty bad. Not having force move sucks pretty bad. So if they added those two things, those are huge wins, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And it's just like the gold pickup, man. It's like it's the same thing. Like having the option to turn the mist feedback on is an option. Like these things can all be options.
Yeah.
It's like, do you want them or not? You know?
I think that this was a brilliant stroke by Blizzard to kind of wrap it in around accessibility. Yes, because there's some things in here that, you know, if you would have just said like, oh, everything's going to be bindable, complete and total customization, people probably freaked out. But the fact that they wrapped it in a shiny accessibility wrapper, I think was a really smart play.
Yeah, people can't get pissed off now.
Right.
They're like, oh, but
yeah,
you know, like you can't be that asshole, right? You can't be that asshole.
Totally.
So I think it's cool that they put the sound effects in there too, because I turned sound off in Diablo 3 a lot, but those things are cool, man. Sometimes you get tired of hearing the same skill noise a billion times or whatever, but you could leave the combat noise off, the ambient noise on, or whatever, music, like whatever you want or don't want, you can mess with. And I like that. It's like maybe you turn everything off but your user interface, so you can tell when you're clicking buttons and they're registering. So,
yeah.
Or items dropping, whatever. So like it's cool that they did it. It's not huge, but these little things are like, all right, man, it feels like the game's made in this century.
We just want we want it to feel like, you know, it's a proper like game that holds us over until D4, basically, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The 2-click action was just gonna kill it for me personally. Like, oh,
for me, I was gonna play on a controller. Like people lose their fucking minds when I say this. They get so mad at me when I'm like, I'm gonna play it on a controller. It's like, dude, I played every ARPG my whole life on keyboard and mouse. It's not like I'm a controller fanboy, but like it played better on a controller, in my opinion. It's like it felt better. I'm just like, whatever, I'll play with the controller. You do you. You can do your 2-button click. I'm just gonna sit back and relax, you know?
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see if Endgame would have felt good on a controller, but for casual leveling and just grinding shit, man, it was chill. It was actually super chill. So
yeah,
I liked it.
So again, I'll ask the question. Now that we have this is kind of a big, important update, I think, and what some of us wanted. So D2R, Lost Ark, same day. What do you play?
Like official Lost Ark?
Yep.
Oh my god. I think I would play Lost Ark, man.
Yeah.
I think I would. I think I'd go Lost Ark. And the reason being is like Lost Ark is so new. The combat is so fun. It's got so much content in it at the start. Like it's something I could legitimately grind for a while. You know what I mean? And like D2, you know, I'm not a huge D2 player now, and it looks pretty, but I think Lost Ark's just got more appeal. It checks off so many boxes of things that I want in a game, you know. So,
yeah, I concur. I think that D2R, you know, it'll be there waiting, like in a nice little package whenever you're ready for it. But I don't know that, like, they haven't said anything about like seasons, so it doesn't seem like, ooh, there's a huge incentive to play like right away, other than like if you're trying to ladder. But I mean, none of us are
if they line up, if those days line up, then fuck, come on, man. Like somebody's got to bend. Blizzard or Amazon, somebody's got to be like, let's not do this. Like let's push ours back. You know, I would hope
Yeah.
for the sake of both games. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like that they get a hold of each other and they're like, yo, man, this really screws us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll be curious, to
Like
see.
Blizzard's date's already out there and Amazon's isn't. So if they do it, then they have to just be trying to fuck with Blizzard at that
Right.
point.
That's true. So now
You
if we
know?
see if the Path of Exile next league lines up with the Diablo 2 Resurrected Day, we'll know.
There's no way, dude. There is no way Chris Wilson does that. Like after he moved it for Cyberpunk, I don't think he would.
Yeah. I don't know. It seems like you remember, like Chris Wilson, he throws some shade at Blizz. Let's
He
not
does
lie,
throw some
right?
shade, but he still likes money, I assume.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I got to imagine it cuts into his profits.
I think
You
he
know what I
likes
mean?
money, but he's also very like tactical businessman as well. Like I think he's probably like a legitimate overthinker, and so he's like there's probably like some divide and conquer stuff happening in his brain when he thinks about dates and all that stuff.
He might have enough money where he's like, I don't even care, dude. Like, I just want to mess with them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He could be balling like that. I don't know. He could already be like, I don't have to work another day in my life, so I don't care. Let's just go ahead and line the dates up.
true, maybe.
And
But
Amazon's got money, dude. I mean, did you see what Bezos wore to space? Did you see the cowboy hat he had on?
I did not.
Jesus, man. It's like, really, dude, this is what you wore? Like this is what you're gonna be pictured in history books forever in,
He had a cowboy
like
hat on in space.
he had a cowboy. I don't
Doesn't
know. When he
seem
got off
like
the ship, he definitely had a cowboy hat on. Dude, it looked bad.
that
It was
doesn't seem
horrible.
reasonable. That doesn't seem
No.
like
It was
functional
pretty
clothing.
douchey, if I'm being honest. I'm sure he didn't wear it I mean, he could have worn it in the spaceship, but he definitely had it when he landed and got off. He's like, I got a cowboy hat on.
Yeah, they did like a poll. I don't remember the outcome, but I remember like they did a poll of like most hated like billionaires, and then like ones that you would want. Like, so if you had to hang out with Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, or like was the Branson guy? Like, who would you pick?
Yeah.
Like, no one wanted to hang out with Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah. Was Mark Zuckerberg was the worst, really?
I think so. It was him and Jeff. I think.
That's funny. I mean,
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, Tesla dude would be probably fun, I would imagine. He seems kind of weird. I watched him on Rogan podcast. He seemed a little awkward. Who's the guy that owns Virgin? What's his name?
Isn't that the Branson guy?
Yeah,
Richard
he's probably
Branson?
cool. He looks like he parties a lot.
Yeah,
and knows how to get down. So
probably.
yeah, I'd probably kick him. I'd probably pick him. Be like, yo, let's kick it.
Yeah.
So
totes. Anyways,
Yep.
super off topic. And then I saw this. This was just a post on Reddit that I'm curious your opinion about. So, one of the things that we've talked on and touched on is that Diablo 4 feels very much like D3 and the gameplay. And when we were both playing the demo for the first time, I was like, okay, this feels just like a D3 with like way better graphics. And it got to the point where even like mom affixes, we saw like arcane lasers and we saw like, like stuff that we'd already seen in Diablo 3, like on mobs.
Yeah, seismic slam.
Yeah, skills.
Yeah.
But this one's specifically focusing on monster affixes.
Yeah.
So, like, what are your thoughts? Do you think the Diablo 4 should have any monster affixes returning? Or are we going to see completely fresh, brand new monster affixes?
Originality is hard, man. Like it's hard to come up with new ideas. You had to come up with, let's say I don't know how many affixes they're going to have. 20. Let's just say 20.
At least,
you got to come up with 20 things that aren't recycled.
Yeah.
I mean, even in POE, there's things that I'm like, oh, this works kind of like this from D3 or this or that. So I don't expect them to be all original ideas and concepts, but man, I'd be super disappointed if there's more than just a handful that are recycled. Like, I don't want to see arcane beams again. It's fuck. We've seen it for so long. It's obnoxiously old at this point. I don't want to see frozen. Like maybe there's new ways to reinvent the same affixes. Like Waller was definitely in there, right?
Yeah.
But Waller looked cool because it looked cool. It didn't follow the straight lines like D3 did. It looked like it kind of zigzagged around, and I think it was destructible, if I remember correctly. Did you remember if we could knock it down? For some reason, I think we broke it down, but maybe not. But let's just say, if not, Blizzard, here's a free idea. Make Waller destructible. Like if your barb swings at it or your mage shoots it, like have the wall break, and then like, okay, cool. Like it's obnoxious, but it's different than D3 a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I don't want to see it. Do you want to see? Do you want to see Arcane? Do you want to see Electrified
Yeah,
back
I
in?
definitely don't think that, like, I think the arcane lasers in particular are very, in D3, I think it's probably the most cartoony monster
Hmm.
affix.
Yeah.
And so I really dislike the rotating like purple lasers. I think it would definitely take away from like that dark gothic Diablo 2 or Diablo 2, Diablo 4 feel.
Hmm.
So I think it'd be kind of silly to bring stuff like that back. But I think some stuff like Waller, I think that Waller's really annoying, but that's also the point of Waller, and it does that job very well. Um,
Yeah.
so I don't know, like Rax would freak out right now if I was like, yeah, bring Waller back. But I think it makes more sense and stuff like that. But
Yeah. One's like Juggernaut. I think has got to be the stupidest
yes,
affix
so
ever, and
dumb.
most people have to agree. I don't know how you couldn't, but like things like Juggernaut shouldn't be in the game. Like it just doesn't make sense.
Mm-mm.
So I would hate to see anything like that, but they could do new affixes, man. They could do like maybe the affixes are the abilities that the monsters have in general. Like just like, okay, this guy's got some kind of projectile. That's an affix. Like he shoots projectiles at you. Maybe his projectiles make you bleed because he's got XYZ affix. Or maybe, his
Sure.
projectiles make it to where you can't heal yourself for so many seconds or some, whatever, dude. But
Yeah.
they can definitely think up something
Inflicts
original.
decay or you can't heal. Or,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
like yeah, so if they bring back a couple handful Waller, I think I would be okay with but just iterate on it. Make it
Yeah.
better than D3
Make it
Waller.
more interesting, right?
What else would we take over with us? Waller, I think would be okay.
I think like Horde makes sense.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Um,
I think that like
like Frozen,
Frozen, you
Frozen,
could
Frozen, you
rehash
could redo
easily.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they could have a big blizzard
Right.
or something, maybe a vortex around them,
Yeah.
something.
I think Mortar's pretty
Um,
silly. They could probably do something
Mortar's
along those
stupid. Yeah,
lines, but
I
just
don't like
don't call it
Mortar.
Mortar. You could have like a archers do volley or something, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I would
um,
like to see more skills on the elites themselves and less affixes. Like let the elite, like you see an elite, he's got a specific class type, race, whatever, and like like, oh, okay, this guy's gonna do XYZ.
yeah,
Let that kind of be his affixes, and then he only needs like one or two affixes ever. So,
sure. I
but
definitely, yeah, they should get
yeah.
like gory, like like grotesques, stuff like that.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
want to like them to go overboard with on death effects because like POE kind of did that for a bit and it was really annoying. But
I hate on death effects personally. I do.
but if it's like
All it does
super
is
gory and
it
gross,
just
it's like
slows you
kind of cool.
down. It just slows you down. It's like, okay,
Yeah,
this guy's exploding, so now I got to run away and wait for him to explode and then go back and pick my loot up.
yeah. I
You
think
know?
in Diablo 3 it's exceptionally bad because like unless it's a speed rift, you probably don't have that much mobility to like just power through that. You know.
Yeah.
Like in a push build, generally you don't have as much mobility as you would in like, an
To
in-game
even
proc
get
or
away.
something, right? So it's
Right.
like not a big deal as much as it is. But yeah, I agree that,
We'll see if but gameplay I hope in D4 is not that fast anyways. So
yeah,
on death effects could be scarier too because you don't have the ability to get away.
yeah,
So
and that topic of speed is going to come up later
mhm.
with all the Path of Exile stuff. So it's
Okay.
interesting. And one thing that popped up with Path of Exile is the league mechanic is going to have damage immune mobs. And the
Nice.
people kind of freaked out about that. And like, from what I saw, in a very negative way.
So what do you mean damage immune? They're just
So
immune
it's a
to a
D2
specific
thing,
type?
right? So like immune to
Yeah.
physical, immune to,
Gotcha. Yeah.
if it's Diablo 3,
Just
immune to
like just like
fire
your
or something.
rifts have, your maps have in Path of Exile now. You can get like physical resistance
Reduction. Yeah.
reduction, yeah, but not complete
And
immunity.
not
I don't
complete
think, right?
immunity, right?
Yeah. And they're gonna have complete immunity in
Yeah,
this thing.
apparently.
So if you get the wrong one, like let's just say you have a lightning build and they get
Yeah,
lightning immunity. Can
right.
you get away safely? Or are
I
you
think you can
you
just
have
leave the
okay, so
mechanic.
you're not stuck in there like on totems on ritual.
Yeah. But if you're like a lightning build, you get to make sure that you don't like accidentally blow up the node that's like immune to lightning because you're just gonna get
Yep.
fucked. So,
Right.
but I do think that like immune is like such a lame
Yeah.
mechanic. Period. And this is my least favorite thing in D2 is be like, oh, I better go run some like corpse explosion because this guy is immune to like my poison or whatever. Like, hated that so much. Or putting on some stupid items just to like kill a guy or something like that. Or just leaving the game and coming back. Like, so stupid.
No, that's always fun. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Leave game, new game, leave game, new game.
Can't wait for that in D2R.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's interesting. Do you want to jump into some of the POE stuff, or did we have more about the affix thing that you wanted to get?
Oh, we could, before we kind of jump into POE and GGG, we could probably touch on the final, kind of topic we had for Blizzard.
Oh, the Blizz. Okay, yeah. This one, yeah. Whew.
Yeah. So, Blizzard back in the limelight of positive press. It's kind of their thing.
They've been knocking it out of the park the last couple of years, haven't they?
Really have. Really have.
Been so good,
But yeah, so I don't know if one particular person came forward, or this is like a multitude of people. I didn't really dissect this article as much as I probably should have, but I did find some of this stuff really interesting. Like, what the hell's going on over at Blizzard? So this employee talks about how, obviously, like, they didn't do Blizzard hasn't done enough in terms of like preventing discrimination against like female employees, and there's like a quote unquote frat boy culture. But one of the lines here says there's a pervasive frat boy workplace culture, including quote unquote cube crawls, in which male employees drink copious amounts of alcohol as they crawl their way through various cubicles in the office, and often engage in inappropriate behavior towards female employees.
Yeah.
What the fuck? And then like another part's like openly joke about rape. Like, cool. Yeah. Had a job. Smart.
Yeah. Pretty ridiculous, man. So when I got linked the article the other day, and when I was reading it, I was like, there is no way this is true. And then I started looking and like, well, this is a New York Times article that I read. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, then I started looking at, okay, well, Bloomberg put it out. Let me check them. And I did some research, and it's like there was a lot of credible websites throwing this up there. And I'm like, okay. And then so I look into it. It's like California State Agency is suing Blizzard. It's not a person. This is the state of California is going at them. So this is some serious stuff, dude.
Yeah.
This is like insanely crazy, and it does make you wonder, like, what the hell are they doing at the? I've never been at a workplace where people were getting trashed ever. I mean, have you, like, at the office? People have been like, yeah, let's go out and have a happy hour, like at a bar close to the office.
Yeah,
I've never seen anybody trashed at the office.
I've never really, like, the company I work for now is the biggest company I've ever worked for. And no, that would never happen here. But I have it at startups, like, where my team of engineers, which like 4 or 5 of us were like close, and we'll like drink in the office and like, get a little schnitzeled. But that's like totally different, I think.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's pretty nutty to me. But I guess things happen, It does suck if the accusations are true. I mean, this is some seriously not cool stuff.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
It feels bad. Like Blizzard just can't get a W, man. They really just can't. They really can't buy a W right now. So
yeah.
More shit. I mean, last week you had the dude talking about the article about how the culture is down and how they thought they were too big to fail, and the whole WoW thing that's going on right now. You got a week later, you got them getting sued by Cali. Before that, I mean, it's just like thing after thing. There's always something, They're not in the press for the right reasons right now.
Yeah.
So
I can't remember that they're in the press for the right reasons. Yeah,
I don't remember either.
Other than BlizzCon 2019 Diablo 4 announcement, like people love that.
Was 2019 the was it 18 or 19 where they did the
18 was our first, which was terrible. 19 was the POG here.
When was the one where they had like the human rights that
was 18 as well.
That was 18 also?
Free Hong Kong or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It seems like that was the start, man. And then it's like, post a picture of your Switch, playing Diablo on your Switch for a Switch.
Yep.
Just like, it was like, that's the start. Downhill.
What a mess.
Yep.
And then, let's get into what the path of Exile. So Path of Exile came out with their development manifesto. And basically, they've said that they don't like how fast the game is. And this is something that I think a lot of people agree with. But I think a lot of people didn't really grasp like what that meant. Like, for like, oh, my build's dead, or like what that meant for the game. Like, obviously you're going to have to kind of nerf damage across the board if you want to slow down the pace of the game. And, so they literally have nerfed just everything across the board. I will say that like when I was reading through the manifesto, it doesn't necessarily seem like the stuff that's like really strong. Most of the stuff that's like really strong already really got hit that hard. So like, I kind of expect like ED Contagion to still be like a completely suitable. I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to see. Like no one really knows anything, but if you put like I pulled up POB and ran my Venom Gyre through like the path of building and to see how much I got hit with for damage, and even though poison kind of evaded this, it's still like half my damage is gone. So I think it's gonna be
you're doing 50% less damage.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be, even though poison is doing 50% more damage, between that and how the 60% chance to do 100% more poison damage was like completely nerfed and deleted from the game, like last league. It's still, and all the support gems, and right, that's what this part talks about here, is the great support gem reduction. Basically any support gem that was like straight damage has not only had the like mana cost increase, which will be interesting to see how all that plays out. Like I think that everyone's gonna have to play differently because overall mana costs have increased by a lot. And so like you can get away with like 1 mana on hit and stuff like that before, depending on what your build was. And now it's like, it's going to be something you have to like legitimately be concerned about. Like you're going to be mana gone like a lot, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, this talks about like they wanted to encourage people to use more utility style support gems. And I think that that's a cool move now, but they didn't really like make any of the utility support gems that much more interesting. So I still think that people are going to just like go damage and just pay the higher mana costs and just not do as much damage as they're used to doing. But some stuff really did get hit incredibly hard. Like the arch, the mana builds definitely got hit. The flask rework, we kind of touched on last week, but
right,
overall it just feels like a massive nerf to just flasks. It doesn't really change. Like you're still going to be able to piano flask if you want to, just not as often.
That's still going to be the play. I feel like I don't know what would have changed to make that not really the play.
Other than these currency items that like you can have them auto trigger, and we'll have to see like what all those effects look like, and hopefully you're going to be encouraged to do that. I would hope
auto triggering, and then maybe you can lower the cooldown on the trigger, so
or maybe like
all the time.
To the auto trigger, or like one that you actively use to really boost your damage. But I don't know, like a lot of them just got nerfed so hard that I don't know. It's gonna be kind of wild, and it hits like everything across the board. So like for me, like I usually play evasion characters that like focus on dodge, and like even like the dodge flask got nerfed. So like you're really gonna make up dodge like other parts of your character, since you can't really rely on the quartz flask to like make up that 75% cap. And I think there's going to be, I think what this has effectively done, all these massive nerfs, is you're really slowed down how fast you're going to be progressing. So it's like, if you play Trade League, you're probably going to progress at the rate that you would like SSF maybe. And if you're SSF, like, oh boy, you better buckle up for some white and yellow maps.
But see, when I hear comments like that, what that means to somebody like me is like, oh, if I'm playing SSF, I'm never gonna get what I want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, this is never gonna happen. You know what I mean? And maybe that's okay. I don't know, but like that is a deterrent, I think, towards new players. Again, like you're looking at this and you're going, damn, dude. Like I already am slow, so now I'm going to be even slower on top of that, and I don't really know how to target the things I want, or you can't target the things that you want. It's like damn, this is like the grind. But maybe that's the appeal. Maybe that's the appeal, is when you do get the item, that you're super, super, super crazy stoked.
Yeah. But it's they've just done so much. I think they're just like they're nerfing damage across the board, but they're also kind of forcing you into, if you want to be like element immune like you did before, you're gonna have to invest a good portion of your gear and your skill tree into like that defensive mechanic. You're not gonna be able to just be like, you know what, this is my skill tree because this is the best way I can get poison damage, and like that's all I focus my tree on, and I'll make up whatever the gear because of my ascendancy. I can be ailment immune and blah blah blah. But like they're basically doing away with ailment immunity, and so you're going to have to invest. Like, some classes would be better at getting it, but so I think it makes like maybe the skill tree a bit more interesting. I see what they're trying to do. I think just a lot of people are questioning, whether these changes are the right thing to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me personally, they added this little section just for me, Lord Fluffy, the face of POE, or feature of POE. Poisons inherently deal 50% more damage, which I think it was actually pretty needed after the removal of the weapon affix, the 60% chance to do 100% more damage. So this is pretty exciting, and they're nerfing assassin, but they're also focusing it more on what its specialty is, so like being a crit based poison build, and I think they're forcing you down into that avenue because like, well, now they're kind of nerfing other gems across the board. You might be able to play other classes and do poison somewhat effectively, whereas before it just felt like, well, if you're doing poison, like you have to play an assassin because it's just the best ascendancy for assassin, whereas now it kind of feels like, well, yeah, if you want to play like crit poison, you should go assassin, right. But if you want to do other stuff, like maybe Pathfinder's the best. Maybe you want to do like a Berserker or something like that. So I think that's cool. But at the same time, like they originally designed Assassin to have like a poison side. So like that was kind of your gameplay decision originally, right? Yeah. Like it was your idea.
Right.
So it's not like the players came up with that or something like that. But also, nerfing Diamond Flask across the board, big time. It's pretty huge for everybody. Crit chances lucky is no longer a thing. So you're really going to have to invest. For me, I'm really going to have to invest in critical chance on like the skill tree, on my character, on my gear, on support gems, which I think is interesting. It makes me want, like, I promise never to play Venom Gyre until PoE 2, but it also makes me kind of want to play Venom Gyre because it's like everything is so different now.
Why did you promise not to play it again?
Well, because I've just played that build into the ground. And like I've done everything there is to do with Venom Gyre. Venom Gyre God. So yeah, my current plan is to try a Trapper.
Yuck. Poison
Trapper. Yeah, I agree. Yuck. I'm not a huge fan of traps as a mechanic, but okay. People have been bugging me to do a poison. Like I can't be a poison god unless I've done all the types of poison damage you could possibly do. So we're thinking about it anyways.
Okay.
They're also like making some quality of life stuff. Like you could always tell that you were shocked, but you couldn't tell how badly you were shocked. So shocked is like, you get hit for like a portion of your life pool, and then like I can't even explain what shock is in cruel layman's terms, but it tells you like the percentage of how bad you're shocked. So like if you're shocked by like 5%, it's not something you really have to worry about. But if you're shocked by like 50% or more, like you're probably going to die if you get hit with something. So you need to cure it.
Like most mechanics in PoE, you can't really explain them.
Yeah, but I think this is helpful because like, normally you're shocked and then you're like dead and you're like, damn, I guess I was shocked pretty hard, but you don't really know. But so this will be nice, but it's still very rippy. So I don't know. We'll have to see how that plays out. The big thing that they've done, and we talked about a little bit last week, is across the board, like the casting other things as a means of a trigger. Now all those cost mana, and so like,
which is nutty,
which is crazy. Yeah. So like all the Spell Slinger, and the thing too that people are freaking out about is like Spell Slinger reserves mana, and now they're requiring like the triggered spells to cost mana. So like you're reserving mana just to be able to spell sling, and then it's also gonna cost mana. Seems kind of like, well, why am I
Double
doing
dip.
that then?
Yeah, you're double dipping. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that makes sense to me logically. It's like, well, then take off the reserve if you're going to make it cost. But
yeah.
yeah.
But it's like, yeah, I think that they've aimed to shake up the meta game, and I think that this is definitely going to do that. I will say that, I have some concerns that like some of the powerful stuff is just going to be like just as good, and we'll see like some of the builds at the top. Obviously, some stuff like mana builds and stuff like that is like super nerfed, but I don't know. I still feel like the EQ guys will be fine, and they'll probably be really good still, and
the top's still going to be the top. It's just going to be nerfed a little bit, and everything else got shit on even worse. So it's going to force people to the top builds more, maybe.
Yeah, and I think because of the poison buff here, that we'll probably see like a lot of like Blade Fall, Blade Blast, or Poison BV, and like those are like the shittiest poison builds of all time. So my concern is, next league we see like a poison nerf because he's like 2 overperforming poison builds. I don't know, but there's also there's a ton of new skill gems. And that's really exciting. Like so many skill gems got adjusted. I've seen a lot of streams where, the reaction to a lot of the sport gem nerfs that we saw in the patch notes is like, I keep saying time and time again, like, oh, did they even play their game? And, all that stuff. And, I can relate to that, right? There's been plenty of times we've seen Diablo 3 patch notes and it's like, that doesn't even like, literally, it makes no sense. Right.
Yeah. Like the Witch Doctor nerf, I still don't have an explanation.
The new Necro set, I still don't know that it makes any sense whatsoever. It works, I guess, if you want to run like shitty low tier rest, but yeah, I mean, sure. So I can relate to what they're saying, but
so what about the Reaper? You're not going to make a Reaper build with that new Reaper gem?
I don't know, man. I've never been a huge fan of the pets.
It looks so cool, though.
It does look really cool.
You got to do it.
I don't know.
A poison reaper. There you go.
Well, that's the thing is, I looked into that a bit, and there's really no way to scale minion poison damage. So really, the only thing that you could do to like have a poison minion build would just be like have 1,000 minions that will poison, and then maybe like their shitty 20k poison damage per second because there's 1,000 of them of that. Yeah, which sucks. Which I didn't really know until I started looking into it. But yeah. Bunch of stuff, like so many, everything's nerfed. Like literally, I don't know, there's anything that escaped. I think people are gonna like peruse the annals of POE and find something that probably didn't get nerfed, and then that will probably be the top build for next league. But yeah, to touch on what you kind of touched on earlier is, Reddit Reddit always freaks out,
right,
when it comes to patch notes for Path of Exile. But
everything,
I feel like it was an even bigger shit show when they're like, Harvest is gonna get nerfed into the ground. I think that was, in my memory, that was like the biggest deal that I can think of. And I think that this is a big deal as well, and people are freaking out. But I feel like after like they announced the Harvest stuff, like a lot of people like either quit or like was just like Blizzard or GGG's so disconnected and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. So I haven't seen a lot of stuff. I browse through Reddit a little bit just to I do that with PoE frequently just to get a vibe. I don't really do it for the information of like, what exactly did they change? But you can get a feeling. You can get like a vibe of like people are pissed or people are happy. You know what I mean? And it did look pretty negative from what I saw. And then Ziz put some stuff out. Ziz is always positive. He's always like super happy, and
it's a mix. Usually.
Yeah. He's usually on the more positive side of things, and he didn't seem too happy either. And I'm like, okay, I didn't really get into like all the little minor details, but just his overall vibe. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I will say so. Like the guys that probably know Path of Exile, the Rise QTs, the Zizzes, the Matthews, like the guys that really know their shit. They all seem to be very like on board with the idea of this, like, let's slow Path of Exile down. Let's like nerf damage across the board. We all completely and totally agree with that. I just think that, I don't know. People read through the patch notes and they see like, oh, my favorite skill is like nerfed into the ground. Rip game. I hate this, like, so yeah. It's going to be like this trial and error, I think,
It's never fun to play the same thing over and over and over and over and over though. Like I don't, if they're nerfing your favorite skill, like that's cool. And then you find the new favorite skill and it'll be your new favorite skill and then you'll be fine. So I think the big sweeping changes are awesome, man. I
Yeah.
love when they shift the metas up, unless it's a meta you hate. But um, you know, I would be excited. Like if they came in and they just like, okay, Diablo 3, we're taking all the top sets and we're literally flipping it. Those are now the worst, and the worst ones are now the best. You're gonna be like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
Like I haven't played this forever. Let's even though that's my favorite, it's still play this one now. So
Yeah, man. I think that this will be an interesting league. And on top of that, I saw, some of the big POE guys that did like a podcast before this one, basically. And they have all agreed, all the hardcore SSF guys have agreed to do no logout macro for next league.
No, worse than that. They agreed to do no logout period.
Yeah, no logout period as well, right?
Like they have to keep playing, I guess, is the torture.
Yeah.
For who were they going off of? Who was the guy?
So Mathel, I guess, never plays hardcore, and the fact that he's going hardcore, and that was like his well, I'll play it if like everyone does this, I think is how it works.
Okay. So as long as he's playing, nobody else can log out?
Yeah, I guess. Which I think I'm on board with, man, because I don't log out, period. If I play hardcore.
I mean that's fine. Like I mean, does log out count when the servers crash? You know what I'm saying?
You can't control that, no.
Yeah. So like, are they like, oh, servers are back up. You got, what are you doing? Get back. Let's go. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to the rip clips, man. It's gonna be a good league for that, I think.
Yeah, it'll be awesome. It's gonna be a good rip league. I mean, for us too, where there's gonna be something. I would imagine.
Yeah, it almost inspires me to play hardcore in POE, but then I'm like, goddamn, game's so fucking
brutal.
rippy.
It's so brutal. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like playing a necro and hardcore in D3, but like 100 times worse, even probably.
It's like playing a necro in D3 with the F mod lag. That happens.
Yeah.
All the time. Yeah. Like, okay, good luck living, bud. So
pretty much.
Speaking of which, I wonder how D3 is gonna go. We talk about POE shitty launches, but the last couple D3s have been not the smoothest of the smooths either.
I wonder if this whole is the performance thing fixed with the sound disabling. Am I gonna have to do that again? Because last league was incredibly frustrating.
I'm definitely going to do it, probably.
Yeah.
I don't know why, unless I don't remember reading something in the notes that it was fixed.
Yeah, I don't know either. But
that's a huge win. So if they did fix it, I think they would say something.
That was bad.
I'm probably gonna disable sound. Because especially playing hardcore, I'm just gonna do it. Like all it takes is one fuck up and you're dead. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know what was more triggering. Was the D3 sound issue and the performance being so terrible and locking up every 2 seconds, or getting disconnected every 2 seconds on the Path of Exile League launch? Mostly.
At least the D3 one you had a fix. Even though it sucked to have to do it, at least you could control it and fix it. Yeah. I'm surprised that fix worked. When people told me the fix, I'm like, there's no way. There's absolutely no way it's going to do anything.
Same.
But it did. So,
But yeah, apparently people are complaining enough on Reddit where, Chris Wilson actually himself kind of gave some feedback. And I didn't really dig into this.
Yeah. I didn't much either. It seems like he went through, it's more of kind of like a behind the scenes, this is my thought process on why we're doing the things we're doing, is what I took out of it. So I don't have a lot of enough experience in POE to really comment so much, but I can see his logic in it. Like he talks about like one of the things it says like why did we increase the mana cost of the support gems, and then he goes in to talk about it, and it's like, okay, I mean, I guess I can see where he's going for there. But I don't know how much mana cost it takes for the support gems anyways. So it's like, my opinion is a little invalid. I know that when you start tapping all your mana away, I'm not a big fan. Do you like that system in general?
Of what?
Like tapping all your mana away in general? Like I know on some of the builds I've played, it's like my mana bar is completely gone because I've used gems and skills that have literally tapped like all my mana,
Yeah, I mean, I think that resource can be a fun thing to micromanage, but I don't know that just like a blatant everyone has mana is super exciting. I don't know. I think that with all there's life tap gem now, so you can have it cost health instead of mana, and there's gonna be ways that people get around it. And I mean, you do have to use a life tap gem on your main link, which probably wouldn't be ideal for damage, but I think that that's also their intent, is like, you know, hey, there's a problem you need to solve in your Path of Exile build, and like you're gonna have to gear or spec around that problem. I think that they definitely want you to have to do that instead of just being like, oh, I want more damage, more damage, more damage.
Mm.
So I don't know. We'll have to see how it pans out. I do think that this line was interesting here. It says, do you really believe the Ultimatum had poor player retention because it was too rewarding? And he said, I felt that Ultimatum had bad retention because it was too rewarding, and people are quick to point out that this was not the problem with Ultimatum. I agree. So yeah, I think Ultimatum was not rewarding whatsoever, and incredibly fucking boring. I think Ultimatum was a worse league mechanic than Heist, but Heist was so boring to play that I don't know. It's hard to rank which one's the worst, but those are just such bad leagues for me. I don't know.
Yeah, so he even put his points. He says the encounter themselves didn't have great combat, and they achieved challenge just by spamming a whole lot of rare monsters, and it was hard to follow what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then the core Ultimatum double or nothing item reward system was decent. The absolutely massive spam of items that occurred after the encounters was unnecessary and only contributes to the problems that Path of Exile currently has with items. Like, yeah, of course. You know what I mean? So, but that's cool. I mean, I think it's, again, for Chris to even get on Reddit and even respond to this shit is insane, man. Nobody else does this. No other company, let alone the head honcho at the company.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the transparency is fantastic.
Gets in and it's just like, yo, this is the, you know, I'm directly responding to the criticisms you guys have of the game, and this is why we're doing this.
Yeah.
That's nuts. That's cruel, in my opinion. So
I agree.
That's why it's hard to get down on POE and think like, oh, the game's dead. Like, because as long as they're listening to player feedback and
and like think how much the game changed from last league to this league, like drastically. Yeah. And so if this one doesn't go over again, guess what? You know, I do think that they might be obsessing a little too much over like player retention and like, you know, peak player amount, right? Like how many people are playing. And I get that. That's a good business thing. But
he says in here in this article, I remember reading, I don't remember where at, but he says somewhere in here how he doesn't want to focus the game. He's not building the game for monetization as a business. He wants to build the game for gamers. Like, I'm paraphrasing kind of what his concept was. But he basically said, I don't really want to care about the money too much. I want to make a good game that's fun to play. I don't care about the retention. I don't care about how much money it generates. I just want to make a game that's good. Mm-hmm. And so that's why we're doing these changes. We're going back to making the game that we want to make, a game that we think is good. And I think some of that's kind of like, that's like the politically correct thing to say right now in the current climate. But at the same time, maybe that's what they're actually trying to do, you know?
Yeah. I get it. And then also, you know, one of the things we tried right after the podcast last week was the Path of Exile Battle Royale.
Yeah, tell me about that, man. I'm interested in your thoughts.
So for you guys that don't know, so the Path of Exile every weekend besides this one, because it's the league launch, they're going to be doing a BR and hopefully making balance adjustments and stuff like that. I did think it was quite fun. It made me realize quickly how little I know about a lot of the skills in the game. Like, if I've never made a build around X skill, I don't really know what it does. And so I would like find skills and be like, okay, what is it? Like, what does this one do? Like, how do I use it? And like, I've seen them all.
Could you throw them in and then like take it out, like throw it in, shoot it or whatever? And then
the problem is like you're speccing your character along the way too. So if you're like, oh, I got a spell, and then you like start going down the spell tree, and then you're like, dang, I got Lacerate, which is like a decent ability or something like that. Mm-hmm. Then you're like, well, I can't really switch without gimping myself. But yeah, there were, you know, things that were incredibly overpowered. Like Reap was really good. Blight was insanely good. It seemed like most players that were winning were running Blight setups. Mm-hmm. But it was, you know, it was pretty fun. It was, it was enjoyable. It was definitely enjoyable. And I think that it'll probably continue to improve unless like there's just no players playing it anymore. But
yeah,
I had a good time playing it. I know people had a good time watching it, and I had actually a decent time watching other people do it. So yeah, it was fun. It was definitely fun.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm glad that they put it in. It'll be daunting, but that's something that interests me. That in itself is enough to make me want to play PoE. I don't think any of these patch notes made me be like, oh yeah, I want to go play this league. The battle royale thing makes me be like, I could totally want to try that out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's a win for GGG. I'm glad that they were the first ones to do it. It's crazy that they're the first ones to do it. That nobody else wanted to jump in the bandwagon, but that's cool that they did. So
Hmm.
I hope this game mode exceeds and excels because I think it's a blueprint for Blizz for D4 to be like, yo, put battle royale in D4, man.
Totes. Totes. Totes.
I think that's it. We got some
Yeah.
Fluff Hates and some PChild Loves, and
You
we'll
know,
get
I had
into
a
some
really
voter
fun, and
questions.
I was trying to just think of that. I had a really good Fluff Hates for this week. And
Did
now I
you?
can't fucking remember what it was. I was like, I'm going to write it down. I was like, no way am I going to forget this one. And I totally fucking forgot it now.
I didn't write anything down either for this. I kind of actually forgot this week, but I'm sure I have a lot of stuff. I guess for mine, man, my big news for the week is that I've been interviewing for a nice job for the last 2 months, it feels like, and they finally submitted an offer. So um, I love that I got the offer that I wanted. It was a nice, juicy offer, and they gave me everything I wanted. I hated this whole process. This whole process has been complete garbage. Like it's been 2 months of just waiting and waiting and waiting for phone calls and emails,
Mm.
and it's pretty brutal. So like even right now, like I submit the offer, I sign the offer, I send the offer back. Like I haven't heard anything in 2 days. You know what I mean?
Damn.
It's just like you just sitting here twiddling your thumbs, but it's just a slow moving train. These guys, but yeah, man, it's been pretty cool. So that's my loves. I've had it's pretty awesome to get it. So
Yeah. Well, congrats, man.
thanks.
Still can't remember what my fucking
Okay.
hates
Well,
was.
I'll tell you what. We'll jump into the questions, and then if it hits you, then
I'm pissed.
we'll jump back in.
It's
You know.
such a good one. I mean, I have plenty of things I hate still.
Yeah.
But
Let me pull the questions up and
okay.
close them. Here we go. The first question, if you guys want to submit questions to the podcast, you can tweet at Lord Fluffy or myself at the PChild at Lord__Fluffy. You can join our Discords. We both have Ask New Meta sections in there. Speaking of Discords, you can use the Discords to help find teammates if you need people to play with for season launch tomorrow. And then the first question comes from OSO. He says, so Fluff's hands, arm, neck, and shoulders are destroyed. He got a full-time job. Are we saying goodbye to the podcast?
What? No.
No. Yeah, no. It doesn't change anything. So like my schedule might get messed around depending on what I end up having to do. So, but no, the pod's not going anywhere. Um Potentially maybe there might be some time fluctuations in the future once I
Yeah.
get an actual schedule. I don't even know what my schedule will be yet. Um, but no, nothing. It's not going anywhere. We're still going to have a day of the week where we do the podcast every week.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that it probably wasn't in my best interest to like continue to try to play games or like stream or do the podcast or whatever. But I do anticipate, after my surgery is August 18th, is like I do anticipate streaming a lot more because it's healthy for me to do so. If I stream now, I'm like maybe doing more nerve damage and actually fucking myself. So it's a really terrible idea, and I can't wait to play all weekend. But yeah, I think that I don't know that I'll ever come back and stream as much as I did before because I'm not sure that was like the healthiest thing for me to be doing. But
yeah,
it's definitely
yeah,
gonna be more
it's the same.
consistent.
Like I'm gonna tone it down a little bit, especially a lot when I first start and get in the thing. But no, I'm not. We're not going anywhere. Pod'll still be here.
Mhm.
Demonic Grizz was on the same lines. He says, "Yo, will the new job infect the podcast in any way?" Nope, it won't. So we'll still be here.
Just
Same bat
means
time,
I
same
still have
bat
to
channel.
carry every week.
Yeah, every week. You talking about? Got all the juice. Turbania says the new ARPG, The Ascent, is going to be releasing soon. Are you going to play it, even if there's more emphasis on action than RPG? I haven't heard of this. Have you?
No,
Me either.
this
Um,
doesn't appear to be isometric.
I just Googled it real quick just to
Same.
see because I don't know
Oh, it
anything
is.
about this.
What
Um,
is going on?
who's it by? Who's the developer? I don't even see
all I
it.
see is cutscenes and the guy walking.
Everybody else that's listening to the podcast, are you guys all Googling this too? So I see a release date trailer. I'm scared to play it.
Still not seeing combat. I was like, what?
I don't know. I'll have to Google it and do some research on it. I mean, that's a good question because you're informing me about an ARPG I didn't know about, but I haven't heard of it. So
like guns and futuristic, which I'm not a huge fan of.
Sci-fi shit could be cool. Like I'm down if they could make a badass sci-fi ARPG if they, think about if you had gun classes like gunslingers or something from Lost Ark, like you could totally pull it off. But yeah, I don't know. I'll look into it and see. Uncle Dan 2017 says, any thoughts on Asmongold getting 210,000 viewers while playing Final Fantasy 14? The store ran out of digital keys for new accounts. Any chance it's a WoW killer? So I think we talked about it a little bit last podcast.
A little bit, yeah.
I think that we're in a new age of marketing and internet, and I think that the studios still don't understand how much power these big streamers have, especially people like Asmongold.
Yeah.
Like Asmongold streams Final Fantasy 14, and now for the last 3 weeks, it's the WoW killer. Their store ran out of keys. All this articles are coming out about how World of Warcraft is failing and this and that. Like these guys, man, some not all content creators, but some content creators have so much influence. It's kind of nutty, man. So as far as any thoughts, do you have any thoughts on him playing it? I'm glad he did.
Yeah, I mean, I think that maybe he'll open Blizzard's eyes a little bit. I don't think that Blizzard was unaware of maybe the potential power that streamers had, especially like your biggest streamer, right? Like,
yeah,
that's kind of a big deal.
Streamer, his numbers are ridiculous.
If like Ziz or Mathil like jump ship on Path of Exile, it'd probably hurt Path of Exile quite a bit. But I think that it could also shake up maybe Blizzard. I know Blizzard has kind of had like an eye-opening of like, okay, maybe WoW isn't like the best MMO anymore, and like we are kind of sucking, and hopefully things will shake up a bit. But
yeah, I mean, I've been playing 14 a little bit. I gotta say, man, I don't think it's a WoW killer in my opinion, but it's hard because I have so much WoW time, right? Like I have so much WoW time that to me that's the game, and I love the game. So when I'm playing 14, I'm constantly comparing it, and like the combat doesn't feel better, the movement doesn't really feel better. So we'll see how it plays. I don't think it's a WoW killer, but I think it's definitely an eye opener that to Blizzard to be like, yo, you start listening to your community a little bit. Like you can't just be like, oh, we're gonna do what we want to do and ignore you guys because there's at least another option on the table now. So I think it's good, man. I think competition is amazing. Competition is what we want. Like we want. If Diablo 4 comes out and it's a good game, that's amazing for us because now GGG is going to be like, oh shit, we got to step it up. We got to make our game better than D4. And if GGG's game if POE 2 is better than D4, then Blizzard's got to be like, damn, dude, they're killing us. We got to make D4 better. We got to step it up. Competition is a wonderful place for consumers. So I hope a new MMO comes out and kicks WoW's ass because I think it would make WoW reinvent the wheel, and they haven't had to ever. They've never had to reinvent the wheel, and they kind of need to, I think. So,
yeah.
Niloy Gosh says, do you think ARPGs are the perfect game for balance as there are seasonal resets? Why do you think people get upset with the nerfs in these games?
That's a great question, actually. Yeah, I do think it lends itself to that formula, right? So if you're not necessarily forcing the resetting yourself every 3 months, but like to really kind of play the game at the highest levels you do. And so, yeah, I think it's really nice when games like shake things up, like when we see rat runs be the best speed run thing for, like years. That's like really awful. And we've seen that in Path of Exile too. Like ED Contagion's been like one of the best starter builds for God knows how long, and it probably still will be. And so like that's annoying. But I don't know, man. And that goes into my Fluff Hates a little bit, and it's not the one I had in mind, but I really, really dislike it when, like, I understand that people get upset, right? Like, I've read stuff in Diablo 3. I've read stuff in Path of Exile. I'm like, what? Like, why? Like, when they nerf poison last league, I'm like, dude, like, there's so many poison builds. They're so much fun that no one's going to play them because they can't scale their damage, like, enough to even be, like, observed, right? Like, you can barely break 1 million damage on POB. And I think that can be really frustrating. But at the same time, like, I have some confidence in GGG as a game company that, if something sucks or something's underperforming for too long, that they'll take note of that. And hopefully eventually, just all you can do as a gamer is just like make a post that says, hey, I've been playing Poison for 3 leagues and I play like Cobra Lash and I can't get my damage over like 1.5. And, like if it's actually a problem and no one else can get their damage over like 1.5 without having just insane juice, then like maybe if the average damage of people is like 10 million, then obviously then Cobra Lash kind of sucks. And like all you can do is really make your opinion heard. And like, that's it. But I really hate when, people get on the internet or on Reddit and they just make like a shit post about like, they don't fucking have any idea what they're doing. What a joke. I'm done playing your game. Blah, blah, blah. I think all that stuff is just like, if you loved Path of Exile for like years and then all of a sudden like, okay, earthquakes nerfed into the ground or something like that, like, and then you're gonna make a shit post about how like you're done with the game and blah, blah, blah. Like what else could you have done with that time that would have like helped everyone else with this game that you clearly loved for a very long time?
Yeah, and the thing is you're not really done.
Right.
Like, you're just saying, you're just talking shit. Like you're gonna be the first person that's like, yo, the new patch notes came out. Let's see.
Right.
Like, or I'm gonna try to make it work anyways. You're just frustrated. Yeah, I'm with you, man.
Yeah.
I agree. You got to have some faith. There is a break of faith at some point though. Like if the game doesn't get updated or gets bad patch after patch after patch, then you're like, okay. Like an example, I'll say Outriders. Outriders was such a fun game. As a core, I think they had a nice concept and a nice foundation to build on. The game launched in the buggiest state. It was like kind of shit. What's the game we rag on every week? I can't even think of the name now. You know what I'm talking about, Fluff?
Wilson.
Yeah. It was like Wilson levels bad. You know what I mean?
Well, that was actually the game you were looking for.
Was it Wilson? Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was Wilson levels bad, and they, we're like, oh, they'll fix it, and then the first patch came out and it didn't do anything, and then the next patch. After a little bit, you just give up. You're like, okay, I'm done. I'm broken. Like I have no faith that you guys can fix the game. It sucks because it's a great foundation, but I'm done. And so like now they release patch notes and stuff, and I'm like, I don't care. Like I really don't care anymore. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm with you. Just have some faith in developers and try to be positive to get feedback.
Agreed.
As far as back to the original question, are ARPGs a perfect balance for games with seasonal resets? I don't think any game has successfully ever managed power creep. I don't know how you can have a rewarding game that gives you power level based on equipment that you earn in the game or loot in the game, and then manage power creep, because there's always going to be new players and there's always going to be the guys who have everything. And if the guys have everything, they need new things to chase. So you add new items and they have to be more powerful than the old items. Nobody's ever done power creep. So seasonal resets, I think, are the best formula to manage power creep that I've ever seen. I still don't think they're perfect though. But yeah, I think ARPGs nail it because most of them do seasonal resets. So
Agreed.
Yeah. RJ Maestro says, we've all heard of chick flicks, in quotes. What's the most, quote, dude movie you've ever seen? So I guess what's the opposite of a chick flick?
I think it's enjoyable by many, but I do think like Hangover is a pretty dude flick.
Yeah, I'm with you. It is totally a dude flick. I was gonna say American Pie. For me personally, I love the first couple American Pie movies. I think they were absolutely hysterical, and I think that was total dude humor. I don't, I'm sure there's some ladies out there that thought they were funny, but that's like total teenage boy dirty mind humor that I think's hilarious. But yeah, I'll go with that. I think Hangover is a good one too. Mr. Things has a question for us, and this question requires your phone. So snack it up if it's close. He says, the last
that literally reminded me of my Fluff Hates. Literally.
Okay, good.
Perfect.
Okay, don't forget that.
Okay.
The last text message you sent now is written on your gravestone. What does it say?
Okay. So
I don't even know. I have no idea what mine is.
Yeah. Mine is, I didn't get them, but fuck, I wanted to.
That's pretty good.
I was talking about these, like, I was at Costco and they had these Girl Scout Thin Mint almonds.
Okay.
I was like, damn, that looks fucking good. But like, they had like, 120 calories for 2.
This is okay. Mine is to my wife. And I called her. I got to set the text up, I guess. I called her and she didn't answer the phone because she's at work. And so I text her and I said, whoever you're talking to, hang up on. I got my offer. I want to talk about it. Call me. That's the text message I said. So
nice.
That would literally be on my gravestone. Whoever you're talking to, hang up on them. That's funny.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I'm glad it's not last received.
Oh, okay.
No.
Let's go there.
No.
Okay.
No.
There's
Okay,
a picture. There's a picture engraved, etched.
Sure. No. So I remembered now. Okay, so it's like 2 parts. So one is like, people keep DMing me on Instagram and Twitter of like what they see like Lindsay's up to, and I appreciate that you guys love me enough to like be so concerned, but like please stop messaging me about my ex-girlfriend. But 2,
sorry, I'll delete those again.
Yeah, thanks. 2 is so we had a trip booked to Peru. This was supposed to happen this October to do like Machu Picchu. Me and Lindsay, yeah. To do like Machu Picchu and do the Inca Trail, hike that, and like a bunch of motorcycle stuff. Like it's fully like planned out trip, right? And of course,
she's still going.
No, of course she's not going, and we don't talk. But
you should ask her.
It's silly because a lot of the stuff, like I paid for everything. She didn't pay, like I would pay for the trips, and then sometimes she would pay me back, right? Like we do like a payment plan for a while because I just made more money and stuff like that, whatever. And so like she hadn't paid me a dime, but like the stuff was like in her name. So like the Inca Trail ticket, the plane ticket, all that stuff, even though I paid for it, it's all on my card. It's non-transferable. I can't do anything with it. Period. It fucking blows.
You can't cancel it. I'm sure it's just done.
Yeah, it's just like gone. So it's just like it's at least like $1,500 I'm never gonna see again, which is the fucking worst. But it was funny because I was talking to like one of my friends that's a girl, and she like I guess this just happens. So there's this Canadian man that split up with his like fiance, and then just posted on Reddit for like, hey, does anyone have the name like Eric Blah? Like, like,
do you want to go?
Yeah. And then someone like DM'd and they're like, yeah, I would totally like fucking go. That sounds amazing. And so like, they went on this trip and like now they're like engaged to be married and all that stuff. And then,
fucking way.
Yeah.
Dude.
So I just need to make a Reddit post. Any Lindsays in chat? Hit me up.
Name drop, dox the shit out of her right now.
Right.
So yeah, that's crazy, man. That's it could be a Fluff Loves. You know what I mean? You could fall in love.
I would hate to date it. Can you imagine like if you broke up with your wife and then you dated another Brandy? Wouldn't that be the weirdest shit?
That would be super weird.
Yeah.
You should. It's the same exact name too. It's not like same exact. That'd be super.
I think it'd be pretty easy to find another Lindsay Blank. Like It's a really common fucking
I'm
name.
sure that they exist. I agree with you. I think that they would exist. Would she go on a trip with you? I don't know.
Would I want her to go on a trip with me? I don't know.
I mean, maybe not. You know.
But it sucks. It sucks big time. I'm trying.
You should just text the old one and be like, "Listen,
I can't.
You've already paid for the trip."
I can't even if I wanted to.
I get it. You should
I'm blocked AF.
You should be like, "You want to go on this trip?" You know what I mean?
No, she won't go. No, she hates my guts.
I don't blame her.
Hey, thanks.
I don't blame her. You're welcome. I mean, you're still my friend. But I don't.
Thanks, dude. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Cool.
The last question we had is from Hex. Hex says, it looks like the PoE League may be bad. D3 will fade in a few weeks. What games are you going to play a month from now?
So a month from now is August. End of August. Well, hopefully we'll have some more information on like when Path of Exile is coming out. And the official date for D2R is what?
It's September 23rd, I believe, right? It's a month after your surgery. You're going to be healed up?
I hope. They told this doctor, the surgeon guy's like, I can have you on a motorcycle in 3 days after your surgery.
3 days?
I'm like, like it's a clutch thing. Like I have to pull in the clutch with my left hand. He's like, yeah. You won't be able to ride like very long or very far, but you'll be able to like pull your clutch.
Can you pull the clutch in now?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, okay, I'll bleed you.
I don't know, man. I think Lost Ark will launch in November. I think it's gonna be like Thanksgiving-ish.
You think?
I don't know why. I just think that's what it's gonna be. A month from now, man. I don't know, dude. Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, for you, it's like you could literally just throw a dart at like Steam, and whatever it fucking lands on, it's a game.
I've only played WoW for like 2 months. I haven't played anything else. I'm playing WoW like you played PoE, that league that you liked during Ritual.
No way you played that hard, bro.
Oh my god, yeah, dude.
No, not even close.
I'm playing like 80 hours a week, dude. I'm playing like 80 hours a week. It's insane.
Shit, boy.
I got 2 characters super juiced. It's max juice. All the juice.
This is classic?
Yeah.
That's disgusting. Why?
No.
It's all shit you've done already in your life.
It's so good. It's fun, man.
So is your character better now than your character was then?
Yes, absolutely. I'm a better player now, and there's internet.
Or the fact that all that shit's discovered and
there's like YouTube and private servers have exploited everything, and definitely much juicier now than I was back then. So I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I'll still be playing Classic. As far as other things on the horizon, I mean, we got a launch date from D2R, but that's not next month.
Right.
So honestly, I don't know. I can't think of anything else that's coming out. I'm just racking the brain. Lost Ark, we don't know about yet.
Yeah.
What else are we hyped for? Lost Ark, D2R,
Immortal's gonna come out at some point this year.
Okay, yeah.
Wow.
You better put that jacket on, bud.
Yeah, I could right now.
I wonder if I can grab one.
Halo Infinite for me. Very excited about.
Is that coming out in the next month?
No. This year.
That won't be out forever.
You asked this year. You didn't say next month.
They're gonna delay that shit.
I mean, I'll afford it. If they want to delay as much as they want, fine. As long as we get a good game.
I am too, because I want it to be good too.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Yeah, maybe Final Fantasy, if I end up liking it. So I'm on the fence right now. I don't know. I'm definitely not sucked in as much as I
So when we see you next week and you got like bags under your eyes, and your beard's a bit longer.
I haven't trimmed the beard in a while too.
Yeah.
It's going good, man. I'm just growing it out. I'm gonna have to get like a professional haircut and stuff now. I can't do the long hair anymore either.
Oh, I'm proud of you.
I mean, I guess I could. I probably shouldn't though.
No, I would definitely not recommend if you're gonna take a job at that place that you have corn rolls.
Can I stupid. Can I get a close up fluff? I'm like, can I get the fluff haircut?
Yeah, sure. You want it? Looks great.
Fluff cut. Yeah.
I'm like, sorry, but your hair's not thick and juicy enough.
Your hair is a little too thick for this haircut.
Okay.
You're gonna need to thin it. We're gonna need to thin it. So.
They like start plucking hair.
Yeah. Oh my god. It's okay. A man that can laugh at his own expense.
Shut the fuck, bro. I'm 30. Look at this head of hair. It's beautiful. Get out of my face.
I'm with you. So, all right, man. That's it. That's all the questions we had for this week's podcast. You
Easy.
guys want to hit them up? Somebody asked me a question that I missed last week, and I looked for it again, and I couldn't find it. I think it might have been Leviticus who's in the chat. So, sorry, dude. DM me again with your question. It was like something about a movie. I can't remember.
So you finished Loki? What'd you think about that?
Yeah, Loki was good. Really good. I liked it. Oh, there it is. He says, "What?" Leviticus asked, "What road snacks are good on a road trip?"
Bruh, am I on a diet? Like, okay, so if there was no such thing diet, then it's dark chocolate Kit Kat and Twizzlers filled twists. Those are like the best.
No, you made me eat those twists.
Yeah, they're fucking great.
They were good. I don't know, man. They're not the best. They were good.
The best
they were
fruit
definitely
candy?
Good. They're up there. I'm a big fan of just plain old regular like strawberry licorice too, though. So they're
better than that.
They're good. They're definitely good. Dark Kit Kats, huh? I would say, man, like road trip. Okay, so I'm in a car. Trail mix. I love some trail mix. Trail mix is and like it doesn't make a mess, so you don't get your hands all nasty.
Yeah. Wow. Depends.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're like shoveling.
Well, there's different kinds of trail mix. Some of them.
Yeah,
like
the M&M kinds.
Yeah.
Fave.
Okay.
Yeah. What else though? That's not my favorite snack though. I don't know. For candy, it's like Reese's, man. Reese's are top tier, and Twix. Reese's and Twix.
Oh, Oreos for you?
That's not that's not like a snack though. I mean, I guess it's a snack, but that's not something like if I'm on a road trip, I'm not eating Oreos in the car. That's like mess. You know what I mean? Like dropping Oreo crumbs everywhere. That's like a bedtime snack. Glass of milk, Oreos.
Bro, one of my new friends I've made that I've hang out with, like has SpaghettiOs once a week. It's
lady
fucking
friends
disgusting.
Or guy friends?
She's a girl. Yeah.
Yo, what kind of girl you dating eats SpaghettiOs out of a can? Does she have a beard?
Of course, those are the best kind, right? I need a beard,
There's no SpaghettiOs are good. Once a week is a lot. Like once a month is probably, that top tier.
So fucking gross.
Loki was amazing, by the way. Circling back. I thought the last episode was really good, and it sets up, I believe, future movies like a madman. And it'd be cool. We should have like every now and then just a movie talks where we talk about all the movies we watch with that are like full spoilers, because I don't want to spoil shit
agree on anything.
No. You didn't like Loki? You didn't think it was good?
I thought the first 2 episodes showed a lot of promise, and then it kind of got like more actiony and a bit more like Marvel movie. And then yeah, I mean, I agree. I definitely agree. It's like, oh well, they could do like anything with the ending that they wanted to. For sure.
It sets up movies for things, like big things.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'd be fun to yap about that, because that's a good one. I haven't, and then I still haven't seen Black Widow yet, but that's on my. I haven't seen that. I'm literally doing that right after the podcast. So
I haven't seen that. Have you seen Tomorrow War yet?
Yeah, it was good.
I haven't seen that yet either.
It was decent. It was actually much better than I thought it would be.
I don't have Prime anymore. I know. I was like, should I get it? I was like, it's so much money. I don't order shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I order shit all the time, so
yeah.
I don't know. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll catch you next week for episode 156.
Damn.
Don't forget, follow us on the Twitters at ThaPChild, at Lord__Fluffy. Season goes live tomorrow. Fluff and I are leveling together. We're both going to be live earlier before the season starts. For me, probably around 6, which is 6 Central, which is an hour before season goes live. I imagine Fluff's probably around the same boat. So
I might go, or I might start POE.
Oh, are you? Okay.
Yeah.
Don't listen. Swap. Don't you F around. Don't have me waiting around.
I would never miss the exact time the season starts. But
listen, I don't even want to cut it close. Don't you kill me and be like dropping
listen,
in a minute before.
you finished your challenge rift last season, dude. Okay, so you got no like. If I want to be 5 minutes late, it's the worst I could do compared to what
I carried
you put
so
me
hard
through
last season. I don't even want to hear it.
You did not.
After it, dude, when we hit 70, it was all me. It was all me. We got the VOD still. There's probably still up.
Check,
it was
check
all
the VOD.
me, dude.
Check the VOD.
Check the VOD. I was like, Fluff, get on the back. Let's go. Wizard here. Wizard train. You just hop on the back.
It's never how it works. It's always me carrying all day.
No. Lies. All right. Tomorrow, we'll see you guys there. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah. Peace.